Jai Guruji. Namaste to Guruji and a very warm welcome to Guru Rupi Satsangat. As we embark forward in this spiritual journey with each one in particular class, only Maharaj knows. Today we have a Sangat from whom we have loads to learn and many such Sangat worldwide. Today we have Koreans, Russians, Iranians, Croatian, Sangat. Without understanding Hindi and Punjabi, they sit in Shabad Gurbani for 2 hours in deep meditation as they have tasted the Amrit. She knows its vibrations that Maharaj works and blesses us. Today we have son Aunty, though born in Iran in this lifetime, to shower few rays of wisdom upon Sangat. Even if we can imbibe few of his teachings, it will be a blessing for us only. So without wasting any time further ado, with folded hands and bowed head, welcoming son Aunty. Jai Guruji Aunty.
Jai Guruji Maharaj, please let me know you can hear me well.
Yes, we can.
Beautiful. Shukrana Maharaj, thanks to His grace, because of him, we're all gathered here sharing His love ultimately. Thank you so much, Shilpi, for the beautiful introduction. And it just shows how, of course, how powerful our Maharaj is, and how unlimited and how unpredictable and unimaginable. I'm going to go right into the recent satsangs, and then, of course, we'll leave it for Maharaj to plan everything, and he will ultimately speak what he has to speak. And as we're only vessels, so thank you, Guruji Maharaj, for using me as your vessel today. So in this lifetime, it's been this July 7th, it'll be 6 years that Maharaj has initiated me, like I said, in this lifetime. But as we know, the connection and the journey is only known to Maharaj. And the only thing I know is my connection with Maharaj is absolutely not from this lifetime. I know for a fact that based on the dreams that he's shown me, that I have spent another lifetime with Maharaj. That I know for sure because of his grace. And truly, when Maharaj says, "My sangat, you know, could forget me, or they could be busy doing whatever, but I never let go of my sangat." And truly that all these commandments of Maharaj and the Maharaj's words were always, I had read them when I started initiating. Of course, I had experienced it. So his words weren't just words that I was reading off, and then following it. It was things that he had done in my life. But as a human being that I am, after 6 years, that, I felt like my connection was not the same connection. I felt like there's some distance between me and Maharaj. I just felt it. And I can't, like I always say, I can't be dishonest with myself. And as much as everybody might think that, you have this connection with Maharaj, only he knows. And you know that, how that connection is. And because of work, I wasn't sitting with Maharaj as much. I know the connection was from my side, was not there. from his side, it's always there. And so anyway, it was about 2 months that I was so busy with thoughts of this and that, and really the Maya, everything to do with Maya, everything to do with the job or, um, my future or marriage or this. There was not just one subject. It was so much of different subjects. So um, this was eating me up for 2 months. And finally, Maharaj sends me on vacation. I had to take vacation, and I go on vacation, and he sends me to a tropical place and country. And on the fourth day, so I was there 1st of April, and 4th of April, um, I decide to go for a swim inside the ocean, which I'm not a swimmer. I'm not a fan of the ocean. I just like to look at it. That's it. I don't want to go so much into the description. I go in the water, but I pretty much, because I had this thought that I'll go meditate somewhere and then I'll go for a swim, because it was so busy where I was on the beach that I was like, if I go, so I took maybe a good walk of 20 minutes where the crowd was not, and I went to a place where there was not even one single soul walking, nobody. And I was looking for that quiet place to meditate. And so I sat and I meditated, and I did my matateko to just Mother Earth, and I was full of sand. So I was like, you know what, I'll go in the water. I didn't even think that, I didn't think of anything. I just went in the water, and I was like, you know what, something told me intuitively that, don't put your head down in the water, don't wash the head. But because I was full of sand, even in my hair, I was like, you know what, I'll just go. And I, I went for a good swim, basically. And I got stuck in a current. Um, Let me say, I didn't even know what a current was before that day on April 4th. I didn't know that you could get stuck in I didn't know nothing about the water or the ocean. But all I know is that where I was, this tropical country, the number one death for international visitors is drowning. And I was literally drowning. Um, Again, I'm making it very brief, I'm making it short, but I was dying to save my life. Like, I was swimming for a good 10 minutes. It felt like eons. And no matter what I did, the waves were pulling me back. And apparently I was on a side where I shouldn't have been. I was on a side where, the it was these accidents, but there was no sign. There are no bodyguards, there are no rule. They're just, the government doesn't take care of these kind of things. But anyway, um, I'm like screaming my lungs out to whoever that I see, which they were so far, but I was just trying my best to keep my head up. I would keep my head up. And just anyway, I was looking this way for help and screaming, while suddenly I just called out. I don't even know how the help arrived, but I just called out. The moment I literally screamed, Guruji Maharaj, help me, because I knew it's my last day on the, like, and I couldn't believe, while I was there in the water fighting for my life, and literally the waves were pulling me. I've never in my life been so far from the shore, ever. And um, when I was, um, I literally just screamed, Guruji Maharaj, help me. That, and, you know, 10 seconds later, 20, I don't know, 20 seconds later, I just see a hand up on, like, in the sky, sort of. And it's a hand of a man, a fisherman. And two fishermen had heard me screaming. but they came from literally a side that I never imagined someone would be there, because on my left it was just water. It was just not possible for anyone to be there. And the crowd and everything was happening on the right side. But the help that Maharaj, the moment I called out to him, that I'm going to share a lot of teachings that came from the satsangs. And Maharaj was teaching me a lot of things that, let me just say that once 2 months of chatter, 2 months of worry, 2 months of literally living in the materialistic Maya, literally living with the illusions, which again, I give myself every right to, because I'm human. I don't expect myself to be a yogi, but how amazing of Maharaj, because that being in that spot is also his Leela, and he takes you there to only show you of his the truth. And I was telling a lot of Sangat, that including Shilpi, that I shared the satsang, that I thought Sun had faith in Maharaj. I realized that until then, like I said, a lot of people have turned around and said, no, you did have faith, Sun. I know for a fact the faith that I had was not at all faith until that drowning experience. I thought Maharaj was always there for me, but I actually hadn't experienced it like this. And he's actually there 24/7 and watching over us. That's why I started with saying that we could be not really present in that connection or present in that relationship, like I haven't been present in this relationship with my divine guru like I used to be, or I would like it to be, because of life. But he hasn't let go of that. His It's still highlighted for him. It's still that strong relationship for him. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, and also that he was teaching me, like I said, once all this 2 months of nonsense vanished, because the moment the lifeguards and the fishermen and the people on the beach that were sent from the clinic close by, and they were done taking care of me and letting me know. And finally, I had cried all my cries, and when they let me go, when I was walking away from them, I realized I was so empty. All those thoughts no longer existed. It didn't matter if I was, let's say, if I made this much money anymore. It didn't matter if I got a promotion anymore. It didn't matter if I was married or not anymore. It didn't matter. None of it mattered. Only Maharaj mattered. And only that he was there mattered. As I was walking away, I was like, wow, I'm so empty of all that. And Maharaj was telling me telepathically, I've drowned all the nonsense. And let me say this, that I always forget to say. That morning, that drowning incident happened around 3 in the afternoon. In the morning, when I went for the morning, I used to do yoga, whatever, on the beach in the morning. And like I said, I would only soak my feet. I'm not a swimmer. I do not go in the ocean. But that morning, when I was sitting in the water, just um, on the front, my Guruji Maharaj bracelet suddenly just literally slided out of my hand. Like, that was another unusual thing, which now, after I understood, that Maharaj drowned for me. Maharaj, like, literally, he was telling me, because he reminded me later that, remember in the morning, your bracelet, I've taken it in the water. So your guru drowned for you. He gave me, again, I was telling everybody, I've heard Maharaj giving second life. He's given me second life. But a third life, I've read it in satsangs. I never thought I never imagined that such a thing would happen to me. And again, over and over, he was teaching me that you are looking at this side for help. My whole life was on this side, to grab someone's attention, just seeing me that I'm waving somehow, or my screams. but the help came from the opposite side, the side which I would have never imagined. Again, he's teaching me the same things he was teaching me at the beginning. Leave your ifs and buts. Give me the reins of your life and I will steer true. So that's the recent satsang that happened on April 4, so 4 2024. And as everybody knows, most people know, every year Maharaj sends me to the same bookstore that the book came, because as he came through a book for me. And I every year on 1st of July, that's the day he came in, and the book was opened on 7th of July. Every year, 1st of July, I do the same pilgrim. I go to the same bookstore, I go to the same church, I go to the same route. He makes me do it. And this year, it's no coincidence that when I went to the bookstore for that ritual walk, there was a dark-skinned girl, a black girl, with a tattoo of 444 right behind her arm. And Maharaj told me to take a photo of it. Literally the same place that the book was taken out. 444. And who knew that 444 represented the day that would be my third life? Anyway, when my vibration changed, then the good started coming. Again, another teaching he was teaching me, that if your energy and if your vibration inside is full of all this clutter, you're on the low frequency. It's no coincidence that I was having, I'm so sorry, the shittiest experiences for 2 months. The people I was meeting, the situations at work, just everything was just very low vibration. The moment I walked out of that ocean, the beach, and everything just faded, and I was connected to what really matters. Then that night, I started meeting people that literally I know they were sent from Maharaj. I know for a fact. Because this guy I met from Colorado, I traveled alone, and where I went, a lot of single people, a lot of solo travelers travel like me. And it's very safe for women to travel. So anyway, I met this guy from Colorado, USA, and he turns around and says to me, once he heard the testimony, and he just turned around and looked at me, and you know, he was like, don't fight the current. God is telling you to not fight the current. And I was like, what are you saying? He said, do you know in real life when you're stuck in a current inside the waves are coming from two sides, and if you're stuck in the middle, that's the current. And he said, you're not supposed to. The way to escape the current is that you're supposed to not fight it like you were fighting it. You're supposed to go with it, go with the current, swim with it, go around the waves, and go around the waves and come back, come out. He said, this is what God is teaching. Imagine somebody I don't even know, a stranger, and just comes out and tells me all these things that God is trying to tell me. And then he just leaves my life. So I just know, because after a while, you understand how Maharaj communicates to you. And this is one of the ways that he's been communicating to me for a while. And he sent somebody that was saying that. And I was just crying because I had been, for the longest time, fighting what is, fighting what has been happening, fighting the current, fighting the moment. And I'm done fighting the moment, because the moment could be done in a moment. So that's what he was teaching me, that it's done literally. When I was like stuck in the waves and I was coming and being pulled back, like by force being pulled back, I realized how like nothing actually matters. It's done in a moment. None of these things, none of them, like, anyway, only he matters, only this connection, and he's always there. And I'm so grateful to Maharaj, because I hope everybody gets a chance to drown. I'm not even joking. I hope everybody gets a chance to go through what I went through, because once you're out of that water, everything changes. Everything changes. Every single thing. Um, I don't think I've gotten a tattoo so fast in my life. I literally got a tattoo of 444. So I could remember, of course, but it's just, it's life. You don't know, 6 years from now, again, my human thing will come out again. my doubts and my worries, and who knows, in 2 years, in 2 months, whenever he wills it. And then he's gonna, make me remember through this that, because, another satsang is, I went from one part, I rented a car and I went from city to city. And on Airbnb, whoever has used Airbnb, if you book a hotel, until you don't book it, you don't know the address. So wherever I went, I didn't know the address. I knew the location, but I didn't know the exact address till I booked the place. Like the next house that I booked, that the street was street 444. I would go somewhere to shop, and in this place you don't just go shop any. It's not like, it's not a thing that happens a lot. So I go to shop and there's a car, let's say, with license plate 444. The house that we went, the last house that I went, literally the last house before my flight, had so many posters in this house, but there was only one poster with numbers on it, and it was 444. There was no 77, there was no any other number. It was like full of posters, but one numbered poster, 444. And it said on there that the universe is protecting you. You are protected. And this is me telling everybody who's here. And this is what Maharaj wants to say. His sangat are protected in ways you can't even imagine. If we actually realized how much he loves us and how blessed we are, I don't think we'll be able to even function like our daily routines. We would be howling out of love all the time. Like that's how much love he has for his sangat. Anyway, that's 444. You never know how the ways he's gonna help is unpredictable. The way he's gonna bless you is unimaginable to you. So that's why Maharaj said, "Leave it to me." Um, uh, I want to say, remember I said that I was full of 2 months of, all this agony and drama, self-made drama. I got there in this country 1st of April. So this beautiful incident happened on 4th of April. From the 1st to the 4th, I was in heaven, but I was not enjoying the heaven because I was not in the right train of mind. When I got to Costa Rica and I got my car, the country, and I got my car from the airport to the first city that I was traveling to, it was an hour drive. An hour drive, I was just crying and feeling so miserable for myself that I'm there alone, that I'm not with anybody, all that nonsense. And especially because I had memories in this country before with people that I loved. And here I was all alone and all that stuff. So I'm crying and I'm literally saying to Maharaj out loud that I've never been loved by nobody. Like whoever that has come into my life and wanted to take that position, I was just saying all of this to Maharaj, that nobody has really loved me truly, and it's always been with a condition. And I'm just howling talking to Maharaj while driving in a foreign country for the first time. And I felt, like I said, miserable. That why me sort of mentality. And I'm driving, then few minutes later, I just cry out to Maharaj again and just tell me you're with me. Just tell me you're with me. That's all I said. And I remembered Commander Uncle's sharings with us when the recordings were happening. After I had held to Maharaj to please help me help me think the way that he wants me to think, help me act the way that he wants me to act, because the way I was going was, I was just miserable. So I was like, let me talk to Maharaj, and then he sent Commander Uncle beautifully, and the book, Blessings Ready for Light of Divinity came about. And I just remembered a part from, how that's why Maharaj says, for me, read satsangs, listen to satsangs, because when you're stuck somewhere, I've said this before too, then the formula comes to help you. And I was stuck in this driving incident, crying. Then suddenly Maharaj brought that incident where Commander Uncle had been suffering due to his job and the treatment that they had. And let me say, I was crying because, you know, that relationship that I was in, and I had visited this country once with my partner, it was like a job, literally a job. Um, and that's no coincidence. Maharaj brought Commander Uncle and the relevance and the how it just made sense, all of it. I just remembered that incident when he was suffering and driving and he was miserable and he just cried out to Maharaj, uh, just tell me that you're with me. Tell me that you're with me. And how he had asked for a car to appear with Guruji's sticker on it, and Maharaj had made it happen. And the whole while I was like, I'm not asking, I'm crying and suffering here, but I'm not asking Maharaj. I'm not asking Maharaj to give me a car with a Guruji sticker on it in Costa Rica. That is kind of impossible, but of course with him anything is possible. But I was like, I'm just not asking. I'm just not asking. My thought was that, uh for him, like demanding for him to do something for me. I was just like, Maharaj, I just want to know you're with me. That's it. How you're going to show me, that's up to you. And literally within seconds, and in Costa Rica, that is not what you see all the time. I saw a car with license plate 777 within 20 seconds. And then right away I get a page, because I had gotten a phone in this country as well, and I get a text message received from somebody I met in Seattle, a sangat, and the sangat only sent me a page from a book, and I believe it's the Divine Light, the book, the same book that Maharaj came to my life with. And in that book, remember, I had cried out to Maharaj that nobody had loved me so far, as including my parents. Everything was with condition, everything was always iffy. And remember that part? Somebody sent me from Seattle that page, and it said this. It said, so it was a conversation between Anita Kumar and Guruji Maharaj, from my understanding. And Guruji Maharaj had told her, which no coincidence, I was getting it as well. Nobody, so this is what Maharaj was saying, nobody has ever loved you the way that you have deserved to be loved. Like, how, imagine it's just you and Maharaj, of course, in the car. Nobody in the world knows what you're talking to your guru, and then you're in this country, foreign country, you just hooked up your phone, and the first thing that you get is a page that says that, literally that now I will love you and I will make sure that you're happy. Because, you know, how many times, I'll tell you this much, that as people, like, let's say as audience, when we hear people hear their satsangs, um, you know, we don't understand the suffering they've gone through to get to that satsang, including myself. You know, I read Anita Kumar's book, or I read, you know, Commander Uncle, but we don't actually realize, like, we were in Seattle with Shilpi. She can actually speak about that, you know, we heard Usha Aunty and MP Singh Uncle detail and give detail and describe the agony that they went because of um their daughter's asthma attacks and the surgeries that she had to, literally her throat was open. Like, we don't hear these in satsangs. But, you know, I want to share one thing that Guruji just reminded me to say, is that a lot of people come to me and say, oh, Sananti, Guruji doesn't love me like he loves you, or he doesn't bless me like. I just want to say, including myself, when I look, this is also for me, the question is, are you willing to go through the suffering that the guru has decided to put the Sangha through to get to the blessed stage that they are in now? The question is, are you willing to go through that suffering? Nobody, you know, nobody sees that drowning. Nobody knows what you've gone through mentally, physically. When I was bedridden for 6 years, So the thing that I hear constantly today is, oh, Maharaj doesn't connect to us like he connects to you. He doesn't love us like the way he loves you. The thing is, maybe then, I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm not God. I don't know why. But I think maybe the definition of love is different. Maybe your definition of love is maybe needs to be corrected, because as Sangat, we know that if we're suffering and if we're going through hardship, our Guru loves us. You are being worked on. You are like you have not been left alone. There's how many people, again, he sent to me when I shared my testimony um on that trip. I didn't care who was around me. I just wanted to tell everybody what God has done, because I was like, there's definitely a purpose why I'm here now. And people will come up to me and say, because it's not done yet. If you're here, he's not done with you. People are here who are not complete. Nobody here is complete. If we're here, we're incomplete, and therefore we have work to do. So, the thing is, again, is that allow your guru to work on you, and working on you comes with suffering. So the like Maharaj told me, the higher the suffering, the higher the joy. So be okay with going through this suffering, and whoever that shares their satsangs, be sure that they've gone through their share of suffering to be here and share satsangs. Um, I want to share another huge satsang that, oh, so huge and life changing. This has taught me, again, every single thing that Maharaj has said. Again, I'm human. I never needed proof, but he's kind enough to put me in situations where he proved himself, which I'm sure his purpose wasn't to prove himself. His purpose was to love me and to show me that his word is his word. Karma is absolutely real. I remember when I was suffocating of the incident that happened with my ex-partner, that I uh, this whole blessing that Commander Uncle, and then the book came. See, suffering happened. That suffering became the most blessed incident of my life. A book came out of it, and this huge satsang came out of it, and now millions, thousands are literally like connected to a book that has a lot of answers for many of us. It's like a life guide, this book, for me, and those videos. But anyway, I when I was suffocating, I was one day talking to Maharaj that I wish I could take revenge, but I'm not like that, and you have not created me like that. Uh, I was really hurt. I was so heartbroken. I can't even describe. And I just kept remembering Maharaj's commandment, and he kept making me remember, don't tell your challenges to nobody, just come to me. Don't. So I would just sit in front of Maharaj, and even though I couldn't talk, I would just cry. I was like, I can't even talk to you, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying without even words. So I would just cry, and then, but anyway, so um, I was so upset of what he had done that he's my dad, he's my father, he's my best friend. Of course, I'm gonna go to him and talk to him like, dude, I'm upset. And he's living his life perfectly in this illusion world. I'm seeing that. Of course, I know it's all illusion, but he's living in this illusion perfectly. What's going on? Like, what's happening here? I'm the one who's suffering, and while he's living this perfect life, of course, you know, I was having a human talk with Maharaj, and then my hand, I used to read the autobiography of a yogi, and I was talking to Maharaj about revenge at that time. That suddenly my hand, when I went to pick up autobiography yogi, my hand goes inside, picks up the book like this, and imagine just a page opens, and Maharaj told me right away, read this page. It's no coincidence that this page opened. Read this page. And in the autobiography of a yogi, it says, Sri Yukteswar was telling Paramahansa Yogananda, that don't take revenge, don't even worry about revenge. God is the best revenge taker. Leave it to God. He's got the accounting, He's got it all done. So that just sealed that envelope, and I knew Maharaj is looking after me, taking care of me. He was just communicating to me. Like I said, his ways of communication is unlimited. So I left it. I want to say, of course, when I was bedridden, um, I was in another relationship, and this gentleman left me. Most people who know the initial satsang, they know that I was bedridden for three in 3 episodes, and during the second episode, I was almost getting engaged, but the gentleman left me because I started smoking marijuana because of the pain, because the doctors had given me marijuana. Anyway, long story short, this gentleman left me because of smoking. He had every right to. Maharaj's Leela, and I'm very happy he did so. 7 years later, um, one day, Maharaj tells me telepathically to call this gentleman. I don't even know why. He suddenly just tells me to call. 7 years I have not been in contact. I had to listen to Maharaj. I pick up my phone and I call this gentleman. After talking to him, after him realizing, I just told him telepathically I was guided to call you, and I'm calling you. And anyway, we decided to meet up. Um, and the conversation was so kind and it was so good. We decided to meet up as friends. So we met up, and the same gentleman that literally kicked me out of his life is now today addicted to marijuana. Like when I saw him, I was so shocked. Like what? So basically, my satsang about this is Maharaj got me to call somebody um, who threw me out of his life because of because I was going through hell and I was doing everything to help myself. And that same situation has happened to him, the same judgment. So, literally he just made me call the guy to witness that, because there is no other thing. Like our relation, there was nothing else to go forward because I'm not connected to that. I don't want to be around that. But it was just for me, Maharaj, it's like he takes you and puts you in another dimension, like, and you're like watching everything like, is this really happening? Like, the same guy, who judged, criticized, blamed me for a failed relationship because I was using marijuana when I was bedridden. The same Guruji made him go through this same thing, but he's not ill, thank God, but he's just hooked on marijuana day and night. Um, that's how he does. And of course, we want nothing but the best for everybody, but it teaches me that he will take care of you. He will stand for you. He will defend you. He will fight for you as long as you're pure, as long as your intentions are pure, as long as you have no intent of harming. Like my grandma and Guruji Maharaj had told many people, even my grandma used to say, let your religion be that you don't harm nobody. Um, anyway, I'm going to share the last satsang. Um, um, and this is pretty much everything for me. Um, Maharaj kept telling me in the last 2 months before that incident that just stay positive, no matter what's happening, stay positive. And my question to Maharaj was, well, how do I stay positive when all these things are happening, in my life? And he kept bringing back again the teachings from Autobiography of a Yogi, and of course to Vijaya Aunty, how she bows to him and Maharaj says Ashkar. Shilpi and I always visit this satsang all the time, and I'm going to share it again. She says, Maharaj, nothing in my life is working. How do I stay positive? And then he again says, Ashkar. So then later he explains to her, and this is like literally hacked on my mind, even though I don't use it often. I don't know, I'm not a good student. It's just there, but I need to apply it more and more and more. So he says to her, no, no matter what's happening in your life, if you stay positive, then the whole world will conspire to help you. And it's so true. It's so true. It's so true. Um, I think at that moment when I was drowning, literally, I just started reciting mantra jap and it came automatic. It literally, how powerful he is. It wasn't like, oh, let me recite it just came automatic. It just came. And there he was. So be positive. And I want to say during that time that, he was teaching me and reminding me, and of course, the autobiography of a yogi, I'll share that. But when he was showing me be positive sign, there was a car that literally came up to me with license plate be positive the same day. And about the last thing I want to say is in the autobiography of yogi, it says, if you treat your suffering or your pain or challenges as a guest, just like how you have a guest outside and you don't open the door for them, then the guest will feel that there is no space for it and it will leave. And so that formula, once I've applied it with anything that has happened, if I've left it to literally, I've left it in my mind, in my heart, all of that to Maharaj, he's taking care way better than I could have ever have. So, Shukrana, thank you so much, Guruji Maharaj. Thank you to all divine beings. I'm sorry if I said anything wrong, but just grateful to him for everything. Jai Guruji Maharaj.
Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji. I am just speechless because whatever son you've shared, there's so much to learn from. And this is like really what should I say, that we need to hear it again and again. And as they say that it's never a coincidence, it's always and always Maharaj. Right now when we were listening to the blessings, right in front of me there was this. And imagine what this says, that super soft, that you have to be soft in life and practical and economical. So Shukrana Guruji, nothing is a coincidence in his darbar. Shukrana Sangat ji for joining. Jai Guruji Maharaj.